Waiting for it. And we are live. What's going on?
What up, everybody?
You're now tuned into Tough Talks with Thili and Dablock.
Bang, bang. What's up?
Yeah, so forgive me, I'm answering messages on my Facebook. But yeah, feel free to take the lead.
All right, so yeah, I think, like we were just saying before we started, we're gonna start with the big news this week. And it was a Sports Illustrated exclusive. It was the best news I got waking up on Friday for sure, which is that WWE has named Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff as executive directors of WWE television. So Heyman is going to be the director of Monday Night Raw, while Eric Bischoff will be the same role for SmackDown Live. Both will report directly to WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon. So this is a really, really cool position because it's literally created for them. There is no executive director as of the day before this news broke. They created these roles for them, and they said in their own press release that it's going to allow them to kind of make sure that the product stays fresh and updated while still being cohesive and giving each show its own sort of interesting voice. So I'm fucking amped about this. Anything that involves Heyman and Bischoff running things.
So let me get this straight. He sunk their companies and then gave them a show each?
Yeah.
Talk about reparations.
So to be fair, let's think about with ECW. He didn't think ECW. And to be honest, he didn't think WCW either. They both sunk themselves. Specifically, though, with ECW, Vince McMahon was pouring money into ECW without anybody knowing for years and years and years, supporting that company. So that was something that he never told anybody. Him and Paul kind of kept that to themselves. But it came out from Paul Heyman, I think within the last couple of years, because he was, talking about how people say that Vince just bought out ECW to buy out his competition when, he bought it to save it after he had already been saving it for years. So, and with WCW, that was poor management and poor writing from Jump Street. It just happened to work because Eric Bischoff was pretty genius with a couple of his ideas for a while. But after Bischoff left, that company sank. Vince Russo sank that shithole as far as it could go, to the point where Vince was able to buy the company and the entire back catalog and library for, pennies on the dollar, basically.
True.
So, so Vince never sunk them. Vince did think, Vince destroyed the territory system back in the day. It's not like he's always been, good to his competition or anything like that, but hey, if something as powerful as the WCW library and company name and talent comes up, and it's that much, I don't think Vince had much of a choice in taking that. That's kind of deal you have to take.
Okay.
But yeah, let's also not forget that was the big surprise in 2002 when the first brand split happened. Vince named Eric Bischoff general manager of Raw. Brought him in and everybody said, thought that would never happen. You would never see those two on TV hugging each other and shit like that. But hey, still it's happened.
Yeah.
He'll compete, and he will compete at the level he can compete at. But he's not. I don't think he's the one who's holding hard feelings afterwards on shit like that. Look at all the people, like wrestlers, that he's brought back after they've shit talked him for years. When last time Jim Cornette saw Vince McMahon hugged him and told him welcome home, and he's like, I know it doesn't always feel like home to you, but this is your home. So if Vince does a lot of bad shit, does a lot of stupid shit, but I think Vince gets an overly bad rap because he's so good at playing the bad guy.
Yeah. It's true. It's very true. All right, we're going to get into the review?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Raw, June 24th, 2019, in Everett, Washington. The couple that defends their championships together stays together. At least that's what Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch will likely be hoping now that they've been roped into a rare winner-take-all mixed tag team match against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, with both the Universal and Raw Women's Championships at stake. Some context. Monday night, Corbin had rather cleverly selected Evans as his guest ref for his title bout against Rollins, who was a pretty chair-happy over the past couple of weeks, but wasn't about to turn the steel against the sassy Southern Belle. However, thanks to Evans consistently abusing her power and making the match a no disqualification, no countout, Lynch rushed the ring to lay a brutal beatdown on Evans, freeing up veteran official and noted Corbin nemesis John Cone to do what he does best and count the lone wolf down for 3. On Raw, Corbin and Evans struck back, ambushing the man and her man during their power couple victory lap. While the two champions turned back their attackers, Corbin and Evans got the opportunity of a lifetime thanks to an offhanded boast that they could take Rollins and Lynch in a mixed tag match. Becky accepted on the condition that if she and Corbin and Evans lose, neither of them competes against Rollins or the man ever again, and Rollins agreed to whatever conditions Corbin and Evans choose. Corbin once again showed his canny opportunism by laying a blockbuster stipulation of his own. Both the Universal and Raw championships would be at stake. Winner take all.
So, I like this in theory. I like the idea in theory of, Seth and Becky teaming up as the champs and both belts being on the line and stuff like that. What I don't like is because it's against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, we already know the result for sure. You know what I mean? Seth and Becky are not... Either one of them could lose to either one of the other two competitors, for the belt. I could see the writing going that way. But I don't see any chance in hell Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch lose both belts to Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans via one pinfall or one submission. I don't see them doing it like that.
Yeah, no, I kind of already see the outcome.
Yeah.
But I don't want to speak it out loud just to see if I'm, thinking the truth.
Yeah, well, hey, the way I see it is if they do pull the trigger and have them win those belts that way, then I'll be shocked, and that'll be odd. I love being shocked, so that would be wicked. It's just one of those things where, you want to build the brand, you want to build hype, you want people who are bringing people in. And as much as I love Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, I think they're both amazing heels, they're not, the top of the card. They're not the big names that people buy shirts for and come out to see and cheer for and shit like that. And to lose 2 belts to those people at the same time from 2 people who do sell the most shirts and the most all that, that's the only thing where I'm like, come on. Just make a different team. They could have just made make the same match but with 2 different people.
Mm-hmm. Well, they could just be trying to spin those creative wheels to see, because even though it's the same people fighting the same people, it's a different setup.
It is. It's a different setup, which I appreciate different setup considering how many of the same setup we had this week.
Yeah. Instead of changing the match stipulation, they changed the structure of it, so...
Yeah.
Alright.
That's true.
Champions and challengers mix it up in tag team elimination match. It was a rough night to be a tag team champion on Monday, as the Raw and SmackDown title holders teamed together for the first time and were each defeated in a non-title elimination match that extended one rivalry and perhaps teased the first notes of a new one. On the first to go were Daniel Bryan and Rowan, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, who suffered an ignominy of disrespect from the Revival and an early exit from them, as well as when Dash Wilder clobbered Bryan with the European uppercut as payback for incidental friendly fire earlier in the match. The Cheap Shot freed up the New Day Xavier Woods to pin the Beard. The top guys ousted the New Day with the Shatter Machine to Woods, and the match was down to 2. The Usos prevailed thanks largely to the same kind of adaptability and creativity that is usually the Revival's calling card. When Scott Dawson teed up Jey Uso for a powerplex, Jimmy secretly tagged in on his brother, thwarted Wilder's ascent across the way, and administered a frog splash portion of the move to Dawson. Using Wilder as a springboard to execute the move added insult to injury and served as a warning to the cocky Raw Tag Team Champions. This ain't over just yet.
You know what? I love both of these feuds. I'm totally down with the New Day versus Bryan and Rowan, and I am super into like a bunch of actual in-ring confrontations now instead of just the backstage stuff they teased for a while. I'm super down for all the in-ring matches between between the Usos and the Revival, because all 4 of them are fucking spectacular. Like if you picked either one of them as your current best tag team in the world right now, I don't think many people would argue with you unless they're diehards of an indie company like not indie, but a different promotion like New Japan or Ring of Honor or stuff or AEW, and they want to say the Young Bucks or Tonga Roa. But yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that those 2 teams are amongst the best ever.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Speaking of hands down, oh my goodness.
Pardon me?
I said, speaking of hands down, could Drake Maverick win back the 24/7 title and his wife? For one brief shining moment, Drake Maverick was on top of the world. He had his bride, his best man, shouts to EC3, who solo cup at the wedding matched his suit, and his white whale, the 24/7 championship. Then R-Truth crashed the ceremony. And now Maverick's got no 24/7 championship, and if Twitter is to be believed, no wife. EC3 presumably still lingers. As a matter of fact, he still doesn't have the the 24/7 championship, despite a Hail Mary on Raw that led to an unprecedented development. The first ever fall to a finish match for the 24/7 title. Maverick made his move during a Miz TV interview of Truth and Carmella, and thanks to an enticing stipulation from management banning the typical 24/7 mob at ringside, Truth accepted the 205 Live General Manager's challenge. He also pinned Maverick in about 5 seconds and narrowly evaded a mob pursuit again. Despite suffering clobbering neutralizer from Cedric Alexander, Maverick, meanwhile, was bereft and speechless in the ring, having failed to win back the love of his life at the title. For those who keeping score, alas, after one taste of the white dress, he'll settle for being the bridesmaid, if not a divorcee.
So yeah, I love this Maverick Truth feud. Sorry about that. I love this Drake Maverick Truth feud. I think it's great. Drake is a treasure on the mic. He is awesome. I love the whole thing where he's like, I lost the love of my life, and Carmella's like, I'm sure your wife will take you back. And he goes, not my wife, the title. I'm like, it's so well done. His timing is great. He actually can go in the ring, so I'd like to see them. Maybe they're going to use him a little bit more. But we'll see. I love Drake. I think he's awesome.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, nobody clip that. What I mean is Drake Maverick. I'm not talking about Drake.
Oh, so I was going to clip that. All right.
Nobody's clipping that.
The Undertaker! I have to say it like that because that's how the Fig said it. Returns to save a surprising superstar on Raw.
Yeah, what? like, what the fuck was this? I didn't expect it.
Yo, honestly, it was out of the blue, bro. I was just like, what? Like, I'm seeing the coast to coast lined up, and then I hear dong. I'm like, that doesn't fit here.
It was like, what are you guys doing? Like, I'm sorry, what?
It's like dong. Okay, that's the Undertaker's music, but where is he coming from? Bong.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't believe he was back already. I was like, come on, man. Like, I thought you were. I thought that, I thought that fucking match in Saudi Arabia was going to be it for a little while. So we'll see. I hope a tag match makes it so that he has a better match than the last couple.
Yeah. Every time Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre have gotten the best of Roman Reigns, they did it because the odds weren't even. Raw seems like it's going to be more of the same when they reconfigured the planned handicap match into an anything goes free-for-all where no tags were needed. The big dog had been subjected to a spear from Shane and a claymore from McIntyre, but Shane's attempt at a final coast-to-coast was thwarted when the gong echoed throughout the arena. The lights dimmed and The Undertaker appeared in the ring, coming to the unlikely aid of the man who once defeated him at WrestleMania and put him out of action for a year. The Phenom single-handedly dispatched a petrified McIntyre and Shane, sparing the big dog from any further humiliation before making his exit. Of course, the specifics of Undertaker's arrival and motivations have yet to be revealed. But if any enemy of your enemy is your friend, Roman Reigns may have just made one of the best friends he's ever had.
Yeah, so hey, you know what? We're like I said, this is what, 2 weeks away? I think it's on the 12th, right?
I think so.
13th. Sorry.
14th.
14th. So, like, a couple weeks. I'm interested. I'm interested to see it. I'm like I said, I'm kind of just sick of seeing Shane all the time. Undertaker definitely gets me more interested in that. I don't know if it's a Band-Aid or an actual fix for the problem, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, Strowman and Lashley battle in Titanic tug of war.
What is with these things that they've been doing? Why are they just having these fucking amazing, giant, strong wrestlers doing arm wrestling and tug of wars?
To display other feats of strength, I think.
I know, but those used to be like storyline things that they would do, like when Braun used a grappling hook to pull down a fucking set on top of Brock Lesnar, or he flipped an ambulance that Roman Reigns was in, like ripping the door off Vince McMahon's car. There's so many cool feats of strength they've done, and now they're just like, look at literal feats of strength.
Exactly.
I guess so.
Oh man, if there's one thing to take away from Braun Strowman's test of strength against Bobby Lashley, it's that the monster among men is undoubtedly the stronger superstar. But Lashley may yet prove to be smarter. In a near echo of the Titanic arm wrestling match a few weeks ago, Strowman upstaged Lashley in yet another contest, this time a tug of war, only for the Almighty to get the last word when he used the rope as an implement against Strowman, threading it across the monster among men's eyes and cranking back. Lashley didn't stop there, charging Strowman from behind into the barricade and leaving with his pride intact. Strowman, meanwhile, was left to stew at ringside, having mistakenly thought the key to victory lay in the muscles in his arms and not in the one in his head. Well, they just basically called him a tool.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, did they just call Braun Strowman stupid for competing in feats of strength that they've booked him in? Like, what? That's a weird.
Sounds like
that's
it.
That's a weird sentence.
Sounds like it, my dudes.
Well, shame on whoever wrote that paragraph.
Shame on you for making Braun Strowman sound like a fool.
I already wasn't huge on the tug of war being a fucking mid-card match on Raw, but like now it's just like, oh man, what's the point of even doing it at all if you're just gonna bury Braun in the fucking reviews?
You know what I mean? Like, he's one of the...
Come on. Yeah, come on, but... Oh, the next part makes up for it, though. Next part
Okay,
definitely makes
by
up
all
for
means,
it.
take it away.
All right, the Viking Raiders defeated Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Now, the reason this is great is obviously this is all still part of my plan for the club reunion. Because if you give Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson this, when they want to make a point, they try to make a big point. In their second consecutive week of trying to convince AJ Styles that they've still got the goods, the former Raw Tag Team Champions squared up with none other than the Viking Raiders, a team with far less accolades than the Good Brothers' previous opponents, the Usos, but one whose aggressiveness more than makes up for it. Unfortunately for Gallows and Anderson, it was almost the exact same story as last week, with the former champions controlling the action until a last-minute comeback completely threw off their game. Eric and Ivar finished the brawl with a rather incredible display of athleticism, culminating in a Viking experience to Anderson that left losers fuming, the victors celebrating, and AJ Styles shaking his head behind the curtain again.
Well,
so, yeah.
That scene right there, I mean, I think you're right that they're souring them up, so they just say fuck it and turn back into their like their true brutal nature.
Yeah, what AJ's trying to get them to be more serious in the ring, because what they don't talk about in this paragraph, which I wish they would talk about this, because anybody who's reading this that isn't hardcore, the deepest wrestling fan, like anyone who's just reading this to get a recap because they miss Raw, is missing parts of the storytelling. Like, the storytelling in this isn't that a last-minute comeback completely threw off their game. It was that, once again, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson were kicking major fucking ass on the Viking Raiders. Like, the first time the Viking Raiders have been shown to have any sort of problems in WWE, and it was Gallows and Anderson doing it. That's huge. The problem came when Gallows and Anderson got cocky again. They started showboating to the crowd, and then the tables got... That's how the comeback started, because they were getting cocky and they were being arrogant with their moves instead of actually fucking going hard. And that's exactly what AJ yelled at them for last week, was to say, hey, like, you guys are making jokes all the time, like, get fucking serious. And then that's why when he had his non-title match with Ricochet, he whooped his fucking ass and never showboated once in the whole thing. He was dead serious, he was working hard, he was going to fucking kick ass. And that's what he's trying to get Gallows and Anderson back to doing. When those three are together and dead serious, it's a fucking combination.
True.
So, that's going to get built. I think that's going to get built up again this week, and we're going to get something pretty soon. Because there was a match in Tokyo on, I think it was on Wednesday night, and it was the Club and Triple H in an 8-man tag team match against, I can't remember who. But I mean, no, that's because the big fucking thing is that, holy shit, it's fucking, Triple H and the Club was a team. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was serious.
I would love to see that match on TV, but I don't think we're going to see that match. I think that was just for fun. But I think we are getting the Club back together, which is going to be beautiful.
All right. Yeah, you know what? You can handle the next one.
All right. R-Truth, Heath Slater, Cedric Alexander, and EC3 all won the 24/7 championship. You win some, you lose some, has never been more true than the planned match between Mojo Rawley and Heath Slater, which quickly turned into a roller coaster ride for the one-man band when R-Truth led his pursuers back to the ring, leading to 5 24/7 championship changes within the span of a few minutes, including one for Slater himself. Now, I'm gonna be straight up here. While I was watching this, and Heath Slater and Mojo Rawley were coming out, I got suspicious.
Okay.
When is the last time either of those two guys were in a singles match on television, let alone both of those guys in a singles match on television? And I was like, that's weird. I was like, I wonder what they're doing with. But then I thought about it. I was like, oh well, Mojo just signed a multi-year deal with WWE, like within the last week. Maybe they're going to try to give him a push again because he signed. But then, of course, the free-for-all began when the former SmackDown Tag Team Champion rolled up Truth for the win. To win the title before the bell could ring for his bout against Raleigh. But Truth quickly won the title back, only to suffer a lumbar check from Cedric Alexander to relieve him of the title. The former WWE Cruiserweight Champion was then ambushed by EC3, who drove him into the ringside floor to become the new champ, at least until Carmella snatched the title out of his hands, allowing Truth to roll up EC3 and once again win back the title. Like we said, you win some, you lose some.
Whatever.
Except for our Truth, who just wins and wins again.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, that's good writing. I'm glad they put that at the end. Except for Truth, who just wins and wins.
Just seems to get that title back every time.
He always, it always ends up back in his hands, man. Beautiful.
Upset 24/7. All right, then we have Samoa Joe ambushes Kofi Kingston following double match on Raw.
Yes.
For a while, Kofi Kingston's WWE Championship reign has the feel of a magic carpet ride. Something that was too good to be true, but too good to last. Nice guys finished last, right? But then a funny thing happened. He kept defending the title and winning. And winning. And winning. And winning. He even won tonight. Twice. First against Sami Zayn and then against Kevin Owens. Though, as the commentary team pointed out, Kofi's pace and desire to be a fighting champion may eventually catch up to him. How right they were. Not only did a depleted Kofi allow himself to be goaded into a match with Owens after pinning a very game Zayn, he had to resort to a count-out victory over KO after planting him with an SOS on the ramp. Competing in 3 matches in 24 hours left Kofi Kingston visibly exhausted, and therefore right pickings for Samoa Joe, who bulldozed the title holder from behind when the WWE Champion was making his exit. Slingshot him into the stage, Uranagi'd him on the ramp, and finally locked Kingston in a coquina clutch that put him to sleep. And for all the worry of the metaphorical wall waiting for the final champion, the thing he actually ran into may have even been worse. Or may have been worse. May even have been worse. It's worse when you run into Samoa Joe. You don't want to run into Samoa.
Anytime you're running into Samoa Joe, it's worse.
It's a problem. It's like anytime I'm on the phone with a business, you got a problem. Like, straight up. Like, that's just what it is. But, like, the missus handles the good stuff, and when there's a problem, I just field it. So,
Yep, absolutely.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I ain't calling a business unless there's a problem.
No, man. I pay you, you give me the service. That's the extent of our relationship. If anything outside of that occurs, then you got a problem. Straight.
Yeah. All day.
Straight. All right, I know she's your girl, so might as well read the next one.
Sure. Let me get up here. So Alexa Bliss defeated Naomi, and then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeated Naomi and Natalya. Now, one thing you may have noticed this week, everybody, is that every time, or not every time, but quite a few times this week, a match would end with people interfering, and then it would go to commercial break, and then it would become, either an 8-man tag match, or it would become a tag match, things like that. Well, that was because last week, Vince McMahon held an emergency meeting backstage, and said no more wrestling during commercial breaks. Ever.
Really?
Yeah, which is weird, because, there's so much, it makes them create contrived reasons to stop the action, and they seem to only be able to come up with so many of those.
Okay.
Because they do this, which is one, because they do the same thing every time. But it also, I feel like it's limiting, because, during commercials and stuff, have some stuff happen, and you can always show it during the match, during like slow points, or show it afterwards. You can, you don't lose that stuff. You don't lose that footage. You don't lose to what happened during those things. But apparently Vince doesn't want it doing that because no other sports have things going on during the commercials.
Nope. They have a media timeout for basketball and baseball.
Right,
yeah,
but like in combat sports, that's because in combat sports there's rounds. So you can have a minute commercial in between a round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he's incorrect. He's kind of incorrect because while there's no fighting going on during that time, there is like the corner time, and they're actually punching each other in the face very, very hard, a lot, and trying to draw blood. Whereas the wrestlers are, they're doing moves. They do stuff to fill time all over the place. So I don't understand the ruling. It seems to be having some weird trouble, but I don't know. This is all pre Heyman and Bischoff getting control too, because they start in like a week or two, I think. They like this week they might show up on TV as like announcement type things, but I don't think we're getting anything else over that. But yeah, so the devil works hard. Alexa Bliss works harder. Not only did the Goddess earn a victory over Naomi one night after a disappointing turn at WWE Stomping Grounds, she won a tag team match with Nikki Cross moments later, bringing the Twisted Sister even further into her orbit in the process. By the end of the night, it was like she'd never lost to Bayley in the first place. Nikki, distraught over the sorta costing Bliss the SmackDown Women's title at Stomping Grounds, was looking for any way to get back into the Goddess's good graces. And while she balked at joining in on a post-match beatdown of Naomi after the former SmackDown Women's Champion been beaten by Bliss, I think they meant had been beaten by Bliss, Nikki more than proved her worth in a subsequent tag team match. In fact, she had Naomi's partner, Natalya, on the edge of defeat when Bliss tagged in without Nikki's knowledge, seizing the pinfall for herself after Cross had administered a textbook swinging neckbreaker. And while Nikki seemed a little confused over what had happened, a replay of the match's conclusion brought a tentative smile to her face. After all, Alexa won, and that's what Nikki wanted, right? So we'll see, man. Like that's, I think what's going to happen now is I'm actually starting to think that Nikki's not going to turn heel. I think Alexa's going to move on to a feud with Nikki.
Really?
I think so. Because there's a match. There was, Nikki had her match with Bayley, which we'll get to later, but that was all just to try to get back in to pay Alexa back for having her to get a rematch. But I think something's going to go on there. I don't know that they want to have Nikki be a heel yet. I do hope they still go crazy, like make her go crazy. I just hope she's the lovable crazy she was before the whole Alexa and no personality anymore thing.
Yeah. All right. For the last one, Ricochet and Styles tear it up in main event Thriller.
They did.
A little time off seems to have done AJ Styles some good. In his first match back after a brief injury, the Phenomenal One knocked off the red-hot, freshly crowned United States champion Ricochet in a match that was so highly anticipated and competitive that Styles actually stopped when Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson threatened to interfere and wouldn't restart until they left. The Good Brothers obeyed and the action began. But for all Ricochet threw at Styles, and he threw a lot, including many maneuvers that defy physical description and mental comprehension. Mental comprehension. Hold on. Mental comprehension. The Phenomenal One was simply too stubborn to lose. Styles dodged Ricochet's home run swing of a 630 and blasted his foe with a hard right, setting up the match-ending phenomenal forearm, Styles, ever gracious, raised Ricochet's hand in respect after the match. Left unspoken was the fact that this win may well put AJ in line for an opportunity sooner than later. The champion would do well to be ready for that, as he's used to standing higher than everybody else. If nothing else, Raw showed that he wouldn't get any rest at the peak before someone shows up to shove him off. Ricochet's fire,
this was
though.
an incredible match.
He's fire.
Really good. Really good. Every single second of it was spectacular. The attempted run-in by Gallows and Anderson, and AJ sending them back because he's trying to prove a point to them. All of that was genius. And obviously just all the in-ring acrobatics and movement was unbelievable. I hope maybe not at Extreme Rules, but maybe the pay-per-view after that, SummerSlam. Maybe AJ wins the United States Championship at SummerSlam.
SummerSlam? You mean SummerSlam in
Yeah.
Toronto?
In the 6.
In the 6, we talking about SummerSlam, baby. Oh, my goodness.
I think that would be great. If he won in Toronto, the crowd will pop huge for that, and it'd be cool because I think if he wins it, I think he's winning it by Styles Clash, and we haven't seen a Styles Clash in a little while.
Okay. All right. Oh, you got the SmackDown Live. Okay, well, what are the pros and cons of Raw before we go into SmackDown Live?
So the cons are, well, spoiler alert, the cons are going to be the same in the next section too. I think the way that they're trying to do the not having any wrestling and commercial breaks is a con, because I just don't think they're doing it very well, and I don't think they should be doing it at all if they can't do it well. The Strowman-Lashley tug-of-war is just kind of there to me. Like, it doesn't make much difference what happens in it. Like, it doesn't feel like there's anything at stake between them. Like, it doesn't feel like there's any real feud other than the fact that Lashley keeps getting pissed off because Strowman can pull more things or push his arm down. So, yeah, I mean, those would be the cons. I think everything else pretty much is a pro. Undertaker coming back was shocking.
Definite pro.
That's cool. AJ versus Ricochet,
that was a
obviously
pro.
Huge pro.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved everything else. I thought it was a great week for Raw.
Yeah, man. All right. SmackDown Live, June 25. Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler continued their war of words. Man, Ziggler's really starting to get on my nerves with this annoying, whiny shit, eh?
Boo!
Boo! Boo!
I'm tired of it.
We
It's
boo
not
him.
interesting. I skipped through it.
Yep, straight up. Okay.
I do.
WWE Champion Kofi Kingston had little time to enjoy his steel cage victory over Dolph Ziggler at WWE Stomping Grounds after being on the receiving end of a brutal beatdown at the hands of Samoa Joe on Monday's Raw. The Dreadlock Dynamo kicked off the blue brand, promising Joe and the WWE Universe that he would not back down in the face of the Samoan Shark and would plan on showing everyone the full range of his mettle in their title clash at WWE Extreme Rules. Kingston was soon interrupted by Ziggler, who was seething over his nail-biting defeat to Kofi this past Sunday. The show-off informed Kingston that WWE management had declared that he would be added to the title match at Extreme Rules if Ziggler could defeat Kofi tonight in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Wow. See, that's a good time to put it in play.
Well, so yeah, it is. It totally is. But it's so here's the next part. In the next segment of the show, when they talk to Shane and them backstage, right?
Mm-hmm.
They set up another 2 out of 3 falls match, like immediately after. It's like, well, what the fuck is the stipulation should mean something. Like, it should mean something.
Yeah.
So that was kind of annoying. But yeah, once again, Ziggler. I mean, just whatever. I'm hoping this 2 out of 3 falls match thing is the blow off for them, because I don't need to see Ziggler anymore for a little while. Give him another fucking year break. Who cares? Let him go do his stand up and see if he can get back together with Chelsea Handler.
Oh man, dagger. Following a kick. What up?
Oh, yep.
Okay, the New Day defeats Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Following a chaotic 8-man tag team elimination match last night on Raw that saw both teams mix it up, the New Day and SmackDown tag team champions Daniel Bryan and Rowan squared off with a non-title competition on the Blue Brand. After eliminating Bryan and Rowan just 24 hours ago, Xavier Woods and Big E looked to push the pace against the champions and had them reeling several times. In the heat of the moment, Xavier and Big E neutralized Rowan on the outside and dropped Bryan with the midnight hour to give New Day their second victory in as many nights over the Team Blue Tag Team Champions. New Day would have little time to celebrate, though, as they were soon blindsided by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But Heavy Machinery arrived to assist Woods and Big E to help New Day clear the title holders KO and Zayn from the ring. With tempers flaring high, neither side would have to wait long to get their hands on enemies, as the New Day and Heavy Machinery would team up to take on Bryan, Rowan, Owens, and Zayn. And that match would be next. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's so weird. But here's the plus. Heavy Machinery have been killing it this week. Oh, also, that's what I meant to bring up after that first segment, was holy shit. It feels like 2 weeks ago that Stomping Grounds happened. Stomping Grounds was a surprisingly amazing pay-per-view.
Yeah. I got more than I expected out of it.
You what?
I got more than I expected out of it, by way of, like, entertainment value.
Yeah, man, a lot more. It was dope. There was so much cool shit going on. The finish to that cage match between Kingston and Ziggler was insane. I've never seen anything like it. Kofi just dove through those goddamn ropes. It was nuts.
Madness. That's what Jenny was saying. She was just like, wow. Like, he dove right through the ropes. Like, he was like a superhero or some shit.
Yeah, like, he just went right through, landed on the ground, and boom. Like, that was unbelievable. And then, yeah, there was some, there was some other great matches too that night, but that really stole the show. That was nuts.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, sorry, which one are we on now?
The New Day and Heavy Machinery defeat Daniel Bryan, Rowan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. Take it away, Thili.
Right. Yeah, see, this was the other time where they did the same thing. Match gets interrupted, match turns into a new match because they don't want to wrestle during commercials.
Well, I think that was the match came to a finish.
Right, but it's still the same. Like half of the people in the match were just in the match that ended. Like it's all one segment, really. Like it's weird.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's strange, and it was confirmed through like reports and stuff that it's all just because of this not wrestling during things match, because they had a short time before a commercial, so they started it up, then they do this. But yeah, so fresh off the bombastic brawl that had just concluded at last contest, these two quartets went at it in a major 8-man tag team match. The New Day continued to harness the power of positivity, and Otis and Tucker looked strong as ever, putting their incredible power to overwhelm their opponent. Heavy Machinery had Zayn reeling, much to the disgust of Owens on the apron. In the clutch, KO bolted from ringside, allowing Heavy Machinery to clear the lane to finish off Zayn with the compactor for a statement-making victory. Sorry, one of the windows in my apartment just fell out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't think I saw SmackDown.
Oh, no?
No, I think I was on the road. Studio modes.
Yeah, it was an okay. It was an okay show. I feel like SmackDown's kind of lost a little something without Road Dogg behind the scenes.
Maybe
like
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's all in a little bit of a state of flux, so it's weird.
Okay. Elias.
But yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No. I was literally just gonna say, like, to go ahead and then you start. So go.
Oh, okay. Elias defeated The Miz in a 2 out of 3 falls match. With The Miz still itching to get his hands on Shane McMahon, the A-lister squared off with Elias tonight on Tuesday. And if he could prevail over the Living Truth in a 2 out of 3 falls match, he would get a future one-on-one contest with the best in the world. Miz came out of the gates hot, but he was put down for the first fall when Shane ran interference, allowing Elias to catch him with drift away and secure the first fall. From there, methodical Elias slowed the pace, but Miz battled back, decking Shane O'Mac with nearly evening the score when he connected with a skull-crushing finale. However, Shane ran into the ring and ambushed the Miz to prevent the 3 count. Those actions gave the second fall to the Awesome One. Shane and Elias continued their onslaught, beating down Miz and ramming him into the announcer's table before Shane finished the pulverizing with a mocking of Roman Reigns' spear and staggered from a savage attack. The A-lister was easy pickings for Elias, who took the third fall to once again keep Shane out of Miz's grasp. Shane and Elias returned to the ring and added exclamation point as Elias held Miz in place to absorb the full brunt of Shane's coast-to-coast directly to the guts. The lesson, according to Shane, don't come at him again.
Yeah, Shane's a scary, scary man. I wouldn't want to fuck with a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for a 50-year-old, my dude's pretty chiseled.
I mean, I wouldn't say chiseled as much as he can still jump across the ring.
Well, okay, fine. Dude's pretty fit.
Yeah, he definitely can do that. But I've also seen his version of, like, trying to put someone in a triangle and his stupid fast punches, and he's not that intimidating. Once again, I think it's just me being sick of Shane. I'm done with it. I'm so sick of his face and his acting.
I'm gonna call you Thili Graves from now on, yo. Straight up.
Compliment.
Oh man, it's intended as one.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Corey Graves if you ever managed to listen to one of these podcasts.
Oh God, I love Corey Graves. He's the man.
He's great. Okay, the next one's yours.
All right. Nikki Cross defeats Bayley in a one-on-one competition. After Nikki Cross stormed the ring at WWE Stomping Grounds and cost Alexa Bliss the chance to defeat Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley and Cross locked up tonight on the Blue brand. If Cross could defeat the Hugger, they should stop calling her the Hugger. She's been adamantly saying she's past the hugs. Bliss would receive another title shot at Extreme Rules. Bliss was not in the house this evening as she was en route to Japan for WWE's upcoming tour of the Land of the Rising Sun. However, Cross proved she didn't need assistance, reversing a pinning attempt by Bayley into one of her own and catching the SmackDown Women's Champion for 3. The frenzied Cross celebrated her victory as only she can, flailing her arms, dashing around the squared circle in the ringside area, and telling the announcers to let Bliss know she had just secured a title bout for the Goddess. So this was what made me think maybe she's going to stay face but just go crazy, because she absolutely was doing the crazy Nikki when she celebrated her victory, which was cool. The only problem I had with it was it was kind of a sloppy match. These two are capable of way, way better, more smooth moves, and they just weren't pulling them off as well. So I think... Can we say
pulling them off when we're referring to 2 women?
Pardon me?
I said, can we say pulling them off when we're referring to 2 women? Is that not, that's not taboo, right? I'm just messing with you, bro.
I mean, it would be more taboo for dudes. Dudes are the ones who pulling off. They gotta the flick.
Yeah, true.
If I had said they managed to flick her off, maybe flicked her bean off.
Oh man, yep, we went there and beyond.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, it was just a sloppy match. It wasn't very good. But the outcome is leading to story stuff, so it is what it is. And I'm always happy to see Bayley and Nikki on TV.
They make for good TV.
Absolutely, they're both very good wrestlers, and they're both big characters. So I like that. I like it a lot, for sure.
Speaking of big characters, Sonya Deville defeats Ember Moon. I love
Sonya Deville. She rules.
After weeks of being bullied by Fire and Desire, Ember Moon attempted to retaliate when she faced off with the Fire of the equation, Sonya Deville, on SmackDown Live. Ember let out her aggression in the early goings, but when Mandy Rose caused a distraction at ringside, Sonya brutally rammed Ember into the ring post and scored the 3 count. Sonya and Mandy celebrated as Ember left to recover from yet another attack at the hands of her enemies. That's unfortunate. I would have figured when they brought her back into the ring, she would have got the win.
Yeah, I love Ember Moon. It's weird. Their booking of her is a little bit weird, but I think it's just the roster is so stacked. Like, the roster is so stacked with talented female wrestlers now that it's hard to, have more than 2 or 3 of them being on each show in the big featured bout. So I think we're going to get more of Ember Moon versus Sonya and Mandy, because I think their feud's going to keep going. And hopefully Ember gets a couple wins out of it for sure.
Yeah.
Because I want to see a few eclipses. That eclipse move is fucking bonkers.
You know what would be interesting, and it just kind of came up to me just now? If next year's Mixed Match Challenge had the She-Nom team with the Phenom.
The She-Dogs team with the Phenom.
Yeah, yo. Undertaker and Ember Moon.
That would be cool. Undertaker ain't doing Mixed Match Challenge.
Probably not.
No way.
Probably not.
No way. No way Undertaker's doing a Facebook show.
Probably
That's
not.
literally where it airs, man. It airs on Facebook Live, on Wednesdays or something. There's no way he does that. It's amazing that we're getting him 2 pay-per-views. They're not 2 pay-per-views in a row, but 2 out of 3 pay-per-views in a row. That's
oh yeah, stomping ground. So yeah, you're right.
That's crazy enough. And apparently we're getting a match with him at SummerSlam. So that's already
what? Yo, as long as he shows up at SmackDown Live, yo, I'm good.
He might.
As long as he shows up.
That depends on how the SummerSlam match goes.
Yo, as long as he shows up on SmackDown Live, I'm good. Straight up. I'm putting that in the universe right now.
That would be awesome. It'd be really, really cool to see
Yo.
Taker in person. I saw Taker in person in 2001, and I think again in 2002 and 3 probably when he was there. But it's always awesome to see him. It's always awesome.
Yep. Bone chilling. All right, you want to take over the last one?
Yeah, sure. Kofi Kingston defeats Dolph Ziggler in a 2 out of 3 falls match, looking to get retribution after he came within an eyelash of defeating Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship inside a steel cage this past Sunday at WWE Stomping Grounds. Dolph Ziggler squared off against the WWE Champion on the blue brand in a 2 out of 3 falls match. If Ziggler could prevail tonight, he would be added to the Kingston versus Samoa Joe match for WWE title at WWE Extreme Rules, making it a triple threat. Ziggler attempted to use the ropes as leverage on a roll-up attempt, but the official spotted it, allowing Kofi to catch Ziggler with a roll-up of his own for 3. An irate show-off responded by immediately lambasting Kofi right after the fall, finally connecting with a zigzag on the floor during the mandatory rest period. And a vulnerable Kingston was caught with a super kick that evened the score at 1 fall apiece. The Dreadlock Dynamo battled back at the onset of fall 3, staying with Ziggler move for move and catching the show off with a pinpoint Trouble in Paradise square on the jaw for an incredible gutsy victory to keep his match at WWE Extreme Rules 1-on-1 versus the Samoan Submission Machine. That match is going to be gangster. I am all the way in for Kofi versus Joe in a feud.
I'm just concerned, bro, because Joe is no slouch.
Goddamn right, Joe
is no slouch, and
no slouch.
He's for a big dude. He's pretty damn quick.
Fuck yeah, he is.
So
it's gonna be awesome.
Kofi's gonna have his hands full.
Put on a series of matches, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, by the end of it, Kofi might be a 2-time WWE champion.
True. I don't have this.
You what? Sorry.
I was gonna say I don't have the stat sheet on NJPW, AEW, or UFC, so I'm just gonna be responding to you.
Oh, sure, yeah. So with AEW, we talked about it a bit before before the show. Latest news on week-to-week TV is pretty much the big news for today, which is that All Elite Wrestling is doing Fighter Fest actually tonight in about 2 hours. So that's going to be pretty cool. But they're also starting their week-to-week television this fall. It's going to be the same week as SmackDown moves to Fox. Wednesday, October 2nd, we will be getting the first edition of Wednesday Night Dynamite. And we'll see how that goes. Because I'm very excited to see how they do that. I'm not a huge fan of the name. I'll be right up there and say it.
What do you mean? It rhymes, bro. That's like...
It's too...
Inflammatory?
No, it's too 1990s. I don't care about inflammatory. I wish it was still called Raw's War, dog. Make it inflammatory. I don't give a fuck. That'd be awesome. Call it Wednesday Night fucking Fight. Or something like...
Wednesday Night Fight, like, yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday Night fucking Fight.
Wednesday Night fucking Fight. Oh,
yeah,
man.
But Wednesday Night Dynamite, it's just like... It's very clearly trying to go for the Monday Night Nitro sounding name.
Yeah.
It's too 90s. Like, it's not. It doesn't seem very current. I mean, it's going to do very well because they've got so many fans that are just waiting for this like daily to start. But it's just I'm just not a fan of the name. But I think it's going to be a very good show. Like I love all the wrestlers there. I love Hangman Page. I love Kenny Omega. Cody, Dustin Rhodes, the Young Bucks, all of them. Like I love their roster is fucking stacked.
Okay.
But it's just that's a me being nitpicky. It's just a name, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But then the other thing for them, so yeah, Fighter Fest is tonight. It's funny because it's kind of a parody of Fyre Fest.
Okay.
The Fyre Festival.
All right.
And its tagline is the most luxurious gaming and wrestling festival of all time. We have 8 matches on the card tonight. We have Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Jabelli in a hardcore match. Now, this match is funny because Alex Jabelli is not like he's not really a wrestler so much as he is involved with this company, Community Effort Orlando, which is an annual fighting and gaming event held in Orlando. And so he's going to be in a hardcore match. That's why it's a hardcore match, because you don't have to be necessarily an amazing wrestler. And now he was voted on, I guess, to take that position. So that was pretty cool. Then we got Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin. That's going to be a great match. We've got the Elite, which is Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, versus the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix with Laredo Kid. We also have Jon Moxley versus the Bad Boy Joey Janela in a non-sanctioned match. So that's going to be a hardcore, probably bloodfest. That's going to be good. After that, we got Adam Page versus Jimmy Havoc versus Jungle Boy versus MJF, which is a fatal 4-way match. Adam Page, of course, is Hangman Adam Page. He will be facing at Double or Nothing. Not Double or Nothing. At All Out, he will be facing Chris Jericho to see who becomes the inaugural AEW Heavyweight Champion. We also have Christopher Daniels versus Sema. That'll be a good match. We've got Yuka Sakazaki versus Rio versus Nyla Rose. That'll be a really good women's 3-way match. And then finally we have, this is probably going to be the opening match, we have the Best Friends, which is Chucky T, a.k.a. Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta versus SoCal Uncensored, which is Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. versus the Private Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. That's a three-way tag team match. The winners advance to All Out for an opportunity to become the AEW World Tag Team Champions. So, actually, sorry, they get a chance to qualify for the first round of the tag team tournament for the tag team championships. So yeah, that'll be a fun thing tonight. I'm probably going to watch that after the UFC event, because tonight on UFC we have sorry about that.
That's all good.
We have Francis Ngannou versus Junior Dos Santos in the main event, which is a heavyweight fight. Francis Ngannou, of course, caught the world's attention when he knocked out Alistair Overeem with a insane uppercut that looked like he charged it up in Africa and just held the power in it, waiting to knock fucking Alistair's head off. But then he very quickly got a title opportunity. He fought my boy Stipe Miocic for the heavyweight title, I think last year in January, and that fight did not go Francis's way at all. Everybody quickly discovered that he is a stand-up only fighter, and if you start wrestling him and controlling his movement a little bit, you will absolutely wear him down over the course of 5 rounds and kick the shit out of him, which Stipe Miocic did. And Francis hasn't really been the same since then. His next fight after that, there was a combined total between both fighters. There was a combined total of, I think, 8 punches thrown across 3 rounds, which is,
wow,
the least ever thrown in a heavyweight fight ever.
I can imagine,
Yeah, so that showed that he was now kind of broken after his ass whooping that he got from Stipe. He didn't know what to do with himself, really. And then the next 2 fights after that, he won, though both were very, very questionable stoppages, like where the ref kind of stopped it early. And now he's fighting Junior Dos Santos, who has amazing ground game, but does tend to get a little bit reckless. So this could go either way. Francis could knock Junior out in the first round, and it could be a short night and a long walk for Junior. Or Junior could make this a very long 5 rounds for Francis Ngannou and tire his ass out, kick his legs a bunch, take him down, lie on him, ground and pound a little bit, and probably get either a decision or 4th round TKO. So that's a very interesting main event. We got a couple other fights on the card that are good. Jussier Formiga is fighting Joseph Benavidez. Both of them are top contenders in the flyweight division, and will be probably fighting for the flyweight title fairly soon, within the next couple months. I would say one of them will be. Damian Maia will be fighting Anthony Rocco Martin in the welterweight division. They're both, I think, in the around 10, ranked 10 and 9 or so, respectively, in the welterweight division, which is a hot division right now. Lightweight, we have Roosevelt Roberts fighting Vince Pichel. Lightweight, we got Drew Duber versus Marco Polo Reyes. Light heavyweight, we got Akonzo Merrifield and Paul Craig. Paul Craig is a great fighter, so I'm very excited to see him fight again. I'm not super familiar with Alonzo, but I'm sure it'll be interesting. Alonzo is 8-0. Paul Craig is 11-3, so that'll be a very cool fight to open up the main card. And then the final fights, there's a few fights on the preliminaries. There's actually a lot of them. There's Maurice Green versus Junior Albini at heavyweight. Emily Whitmire versus Amanda Ribas. Both of them are badass strawweights in the women's strawweight division. Dalcha, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's last name. I apologize. Dalcha L, who's 9-1 in the light heavyweight division, is fighting Daquan Townsend. He's a great fighter, great young fighter. And then, we have also got Ricardo Ramos versus Journey Newson in the main event of the prelims. And that's going to be very cool. That all starts in about an hour at 6 p.m. For prelims, main card is at 9, and I think it's on TSN tonight, so it's a free show for anybody who wants to watch it if you get TSN or no websites to stream.
Right on. Right on. So that's your UFC, your AEW. You okay, bro?
Yeah, sorry about that. Went down the wrong pipe.
Oh, that's fine. Just, don't die on me. We're not finished the podcast yet.
Yeah. Gotta go a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing that was cool this week, NXT.
Okay.
NXT had a women's title match this week in a steel cage.
Really?
Yeah, and it was Shayna Baszler defends her title against Io Shirai.
Who's gone heel?
And it was, this is when she went heel. Was in this match. She went gangster. She almost won the match. She was put in the coquina clutch in between the ropes while she was trying to climb out of the ring.
Oh.
She grabbed onto the door and bashed Shayna's head in with the door.
Yeah.
And she hit her with it 3 times, and then Shayna went unconscious and fell out of the ring.
Oh.
Like, in kayfabe, and won.
Oh.
And then woke up to find out she'd won the title. So she sold it amazingly. She sold it like total shock.
Oh, man.
So that was a great match. Afterwards, Io, frustrated, decided she doesn't need friends. She doesn't need the fans, and kicked the shit out of Candice LeRae. Beat her up with a steel chair, did a suplex onto a standing, like a unfolded, proper sat-up chair.
Oh.
And then left the ring screaming in Japanese at the crowd, and then yelling at them, I don't care, and walked away. So, Io Shirai, heel, I love it. She's a gangster. Her versus Candice LeRae will be an incredible feud. I think that was the last thing I had. I almost forgot to bring that up, and that match definitely deserves to be talked about.
Yeah, that sounds like a good match. They're busting out the steel cages a lot now.
The what, sorry?
They're breaking out the steel cages a lot now.
Yeah, well, it's cool because it's the first time there's ever been a women's title cage match in WWE. So it was very, very cool. Very good stuff, and they tore the house down. The other 2 of the 4 horsewomen of MMA, Marina Shafir, and I'm forgetting the other girl's name, they interfered. It was amazing.
I can't remember her name off the top.
I can never remember the blonde one's name. I know the brunette is Marina Shafir. I obviously know Shayna Baszler. I obviously know Ronda Rousey. The last girl's name escapes me, though. I forget.
Oh, man. Okay, well, you know who you are, lady. Feel important and empowered. What?
Yeah.
Feel important and feel empowered. You know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I got. You got anything else?
Me? No, not really. I just, I just want to take some time to promote these events that are happening.
Yeah, do it.
July 1st in Fort Erie, we got your boy performing at Big Texas. Come check it out. Jessamine, who? Duke?
Jessamine Duke.
Jessamine Duke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jessamine Duke. Correct.
Jessamine
yeah,
Duke.
That's the other name.
Yeah, you see,
that's why I forget it. I've never heard the name Jessamine before, so
nah.
I'll forget in 20 minutes.
I always think Jezebel when I hear Jessamine, for some reason. So
yeah.
No disrespect to you, but just you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's just the name that I would know of the 2.
Yeah. So yeah, we got I'm performing. Chronic Spirits performing. Zach Burry's performing on July 1st. Pluto Han's performing. Shout out to Shout out to Black Rabbit Music Group. Shout out to Black Magic too. JD Era, I see you, my dude. All right, cool.
Yeah.
At July 27th, we have Private Name, Private Number releasing the Recipe release single. PN will be in the building with DJ Stretch. We will also have Wasteman 6 hosting the event. Yours truly will be in the building as well. So watch out now. Holla at me. Say what up.
That'll be dope.
Yeah, man. And then we got August 3rd, Sam's Tavern in Hamilton. I will be performing again for live music shows. It will be an interesting event, and that is just so you know. Choo-choo-choo. I think, are we staying in Hamilton that time? Are we staying in Hamilton that night? Yeah, I think I'm staying in Hamilton that night, because it's not about driving down here if I don't have to. Straight up, bro. Straight up. So, yeah. You're listening to Tough Talks with Thili in the Block.
Yes, sir.
All right. You got any closing remarks?
No, just be on the look. Like you said, be on the lookout for all those events. Support Choom Gang. Check out Ezza's new album, And Lit.
Yeah.
It is a goddamn beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of art. I love that goddamn album so much.
Smart URL .it /ENLIT.
Yeah, ENLIT.
ENLIT, yep. That's what's up. All right.
So go check that out. Be on the lookout. I should have some stuff coming pretty soon, some more news.
All right. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, this has been Tough Talks with Thili in the Block. For Thili, this is the Block. Let's up. We gone.